Hi, I'm Stacey Dodson, and I'm the Communication and Brand Manager for Honor Credit Union. And my cause off the clock is carbon monoxide education and awareness. 2 years ago this July, I purchased a home in a nice neighborhood filled with kids, and I moved myself and my 3 children into the home. It was early one morning when my middle daughter, Katala, came into my bedroom to let me know that she wasn't feeling very well. As a mom, you know, there are lots of moments like that when your kids come in and they wake you up early in the morning and they're just not feeling great. But it persisted, and so I took her into the bathroom so that she was feeling pretty sick. And at that moment, I heard a noise from my baby's bedroom, and she also seemed to be not feeling very well. I heard kind of some guttural noises that she was making, and in my mind I thought, oh, what are the odds? Both girls are down with the flu, sick, right at the same exact time. So I left Katala, my middle daughter, in my bathroom, and I made my way to my baby's bedroom. The problem is I couldn't get there. It felt like I was wading through molasses. It's maybe 15 steps from my bedroom, and it feels like it took 10 minutes to get there. As I'm walking there and feeling like I can't get there, my head is starting to feel fuzzy, and I think to myself, something's wrong. Don't know what it is, but you gotta get these kids and you gotta get them out of here. Once I got to her bedroom, she was unconscious. And that is every mom's nightmare. Knowing I had to get them out of there, thinking, I'm not sure what it is, but maybe this is carbon monoxide. I grabbed her out of her bed and made my way back to Katala, and by the time I got back to my bathroom, she was also unconscious on the floor. So I took both of them in my arms and had one over my shoulder, and the other one I was basically dragging, but I had to go get my son still. And my son's bedroom was the farthest away, so I made it there. Luckily, he was still conscious. I yelled at him to get out of his bed, to follow us. He was understandably very scared at that point. I'd woken him up. He didn't know what was going on. And I'll never forget having to take all 3 kids, baby in one arm, Katala, my middle in the other, and Sai behind me, and having to drag them down my stairs to get them out of my house, and called 911. At this point, both of my girls still were not awake. So I was living a nightmare for the next 10 minutes, as it felt like it took an eternity for the ambulance to arrive. The 911 operator was wonderful. She tried to keep me calm and tried to walk me through it. My middle daughter, Katala, started to wake up, but my baby was still, she just wouldn't open her eyes. She was breathing, but she just wasn't there. And so as soon as the ambulance turned the corner, she opened her eyes and she looked up at me and she said, "Mama." That was a pretty relieving moment, but I was still pretty scared because she went right back to sleep. But I knew at least, there was hope that she was there and she was still fine. So the ambulance got there. They immediately hooked us up to oxygen and confirmed my suspicions that it was carbon monoxide, that it was all throughout the house. The great thing about the treatment is as soon as you can pump oxygen in, if it's caught in time, it starts to dissipate within the body. All 3 of my children, by the time we left my house, were awake, and then we spent the rest of the day and night at the hospital receiving oxygen and treatments. Very lucky that God was watching over us that day, and so we wanted to use that good fortune to give back. What we did, the way that we turned a negative situation into a positive situation, is that winter, I sat down at the table with my kids and I said, okay, what are we gonna do to give back here? And my kids came up with an idea that they wanted everybody in our hometown, our beloved hometown of Buchanan, Michigan, to have a carbon monoxide detector, because we didn't. We thought that we had one. It was a brand new house, but we didn't. And if we would have been alerted. And so we wanted to make sure that everybody in our town had one. And so the way that we did that is my kids led the entire campaign. They wrote a letter that they read to their schools saying what had happened and asking their classmates to bring in any loose change. And they collected all the loose change at both offices. And then they went to downtown businesses and they had these little milk jugs with their story on the front and their picture with a letter saying to the community, if you have any loose change, we would love to collect your loose change. We'll take it, and we're going to use those to buy carbon monoxide detectors for everybody else in our community that doesn't have one. Well, in true form, Buchanan stepped up, and not only did the community bring in loose change, but businesses started jumping on and they said, hey, we'll donate 10 carbon monoxide detectors, we'll give $100. And so at the end of the campaign, which was about 3 weeks long, my children had raised $3,500 to purchase carbon monoxide detectors for our community. We also worked with an organization called the Lindsay Kesling Wishing Tree Foundation, which is based out of LaPorte, Indiana, started by Dot Kesling. Her daughter, Lindsay, passed away from carbon monoxide about 9 years ago. So she has tirelessly taken up this effort of carbon monoxide education and advocacy. And so we teamed up with them, and they are a wonderful organization, and they donated 150 of carbon monoxide detectors and helped get the word out as well. It was a beautiful way to turn that negative into a positive, but we continue to advocate for that. It's been great to work for Honor Credit Union because during that campaign, Honor was one of those businesses that hopped on and gave back as well, and they really allowed me the opportunity to take time off to be out in the community, to talk to people, to attend this community event. I've been asked to speak at other community organizations, and Honor has supported that in my efforts to do so. So I'm pretty lucky to be a part of an organization that cares more about its people than it does about profit and the bottom line. If you don't have a carbon monoxide detector, please get one. That's my cause off the clock.